Before the oceans swallowed the earth, there was a stretch of rugged, beautiful coast where a small fishing village clung to the cliffs. They were simple people, hardy and stubborn, led by a burly, iron-willed man named Waterous. Waterous was a hard ruler, sometimes cruel, sometimes fierce, but he kept his people fed, and he kept them alive. And up in the clouds, looking down with quiet adoration, was the watcher angel, Waterous. Waterous didn't care for the cold, gold-paved streets of heaven. He loved the smell of wet pine, the roar of the crashing surf, and the raw, unfiltered humanity of Waterous' village. He would spend hours in the sea breeze, just watching them live, laugh, and fight. To him, they were the most beautiful things in creation. Then the terrible whispers echoed through the celestial halls, "The flood is coming." Yahweh and the other gods had decided to wipe the slate clean. Waterous looked down at his village and felt a crushing, agonizing grief. He couldn't let them drown. But how could a single, rogue angel stop the wrath of the heavens? He knew he needed a miracle. With the loyal angels distracted, sharpening their swords and gathering the storm clouds, Waterous slipped back into the high heavens. He bypassed the guard posts and crept into the sacred treasure vaults, searching for anything that could save his mortals. And there, resting in a vessel of spun silver, was the very last fruit of Eden. It was a heavy, pulsating thing, its deep purple skin glistening, holding the raw, concentrated essence of the primordial world. Waterous knew its juices contained enough raw, creative magic to rewrite the laws of nature. He snatched the fruit, hid it beneath his robes, and fled back to the mortal realm. He arrived just as the sky cracked open. The rain didn't fall, it threw itself at the earth. The oceans swelled, rising up the cliffs, swallowing the shores. In Waterous' village, the panic was deafening. Families clung to rooftops. Mothers wailed as the cold, black tide swept away their homes. Standing on the highest peak above the rising deluge, Waterous revealed himself. He didn't come in blinding, terrifying angelic light, but with a face full of sorrow and love. He held the fruit of Eden high. He crushed it in his bare hand, letting the glowing, purple nectar rain down into the surging floodwaters. He began to chant, weaving a deep, ancient magic that seized the dying villagers. The water didn't drown them. As the purple light washed over them, their lungs ceased to burn. Their legs fused, growing shimmering, iridescent scales of deep-sea blue and emerald green. Gills fluttered open on their necks. They gasped, drawing in the cold salt water as if it was sweet air. They had become the first Merentities. Waterous dove into the deep, swimming alongside them as they explored their new, silent world. He swam to Waterous, who was now a towering, majestic creature of the deep. Waterous placed a crown of black coral upon his head, naming him the King of the Deep, and handed him the remains of the fruit of Eden, still pulsing with magic, a relic to guard above all else. "Keep it safe," Waterous whispered, his voice vibrating through the water. "It is the key to your bloodline and the anchor of your new world." Waterous bowed his head, took the fruit, and led his transformed people deep into the dark, silent trenches of the ocean, far below the churning wrath of the surface storm. There, they built a magnificent, watery kingdom of coral and stone, untouched by the cataclysm above. And Waterous, he retreated into the deep, dark trenches, hiding from the wrath of Yahweh's loyal hunters, always keeping a quiet, protective watch over the kingdom he had saved with a stolen piece of paradise.